I want to
Mhm.
talk about
Are we
Codename
muted?
Candy.
Rip, we're muted. Oh no.
Oh, the whole bit was
Oh, this
ruined.
whole I talked about such smart and great things for the first 13 seconds of the show and now they're
Yeah.
all gone.
Is there sound now, humans listening to the thing?
Someone said there's sound, but
Okay.
well, I guess my whole bit about getting the button back is not going to be
You know what,
relevant
Blevins? Fuck it. Just play the thing.
unless I just press the button. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Rune Terrible Radio. I'm Blevins. Joining me, as always, is the beautiful Saucy Mailman. What's up, man?
This is not just another episode of Rune Terrible Radio. This is the
Ooh,
most important episode we've ever had because it is episode number 69
Nice.
nice,
featuring our good friend
nice, nice,
Amazonian who
nice.
I think when we first started this podcast, she made sure she asked if she could be on episode 69. I remember this vividly.
Yeah, totally.
It's
Definitely.
true.
Absolutely.
Yep, definitely happened. So here she is. What's up, Amy?
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. So I asked if I could be on Rude Terrible Radio because I loved hanging with these two nerds last weekend for the seasonal. And I was like, hey, wait, what's the last time I got to like spend an hour talking to two dudes with beards?
Yep.
And I haven't been to a game store in so long. It's
True.
been a long time, probably a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this podcast only smells kind of as bad as a game store would, at
Well,
least in this heat.
considering
Ooh,
your apartment and my apartment are boiling hot right now. Yeah,
mhm,
no,
mhm.
it's awful. We're by the way, if both of us seem like we have a sheen to us,
Yes,
that's from the heat. That's from that
yes,
summer heat. Stay hydrated, everybody. East
yes.
Coast,
Yeah.
West Coast, we're
I'm
burning up.
Everywhere. It's
I'm
48 million
self-basting.
degrees. I have servants that come into my office every 8 minutes and wipe the sheen from my face. So
Yep.
that's why I don't have as much of a glistening brow.
Yeah, Saucy's got that special that special. Yes, there it is. The
Beard.
Amazonian beard has been created, but ooh,
Does
this
it
is a
does it
special occasion. As of course, Amy mentioned, we were all on the seasonal. How cool is that?
Oh
We're all
yeah,
on the
we
desk of the
were.
seasonal.
And it
Yeah, it was
was
really good.
the best seasonal ever.
Oh, easily,
I
maybe.
mean,
Probably. The
Like at this
games
definitely.
were
point,
hot, the coverage
Yeah.
was spicy, and everybody was so salty about Azirarelia that they were just like, I don't want to watch because it's just going to be that." And then it was like, oh, there was two matches of Azirarelia and nothing else.
yeah. There
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird because that deck got banned a lot because everyone's sick of playing against Azirarelia.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely there's a whole discussion that maybe on a future episode we'll have one of the proponents of some of the other formats. I know there were some people who put out some posts after the seasonal and a whole thing there with the because the tournament meta looking pretty sweet. The
Yeah,
ladder meta
very
maybe
sweet.
not so much, but we'll dive into that on another show. But I just wanted to talk um, I guess first to you, Saucy, because this was your first seasonal. What was that like?
It was super, super fun. Yeah, it's crazy all of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you don't think about when you're viewing it. Like all of the people
Mhm.
in production. Like I've done like so before I started streaming, I used to be in the music industry and I was in a
Mm,
touring band. So like I know the shit that goes behind on in radio and TV and all that. But like I didn't think about all of that for a production that's essentially online, right? Like
uh-huh.
it's a webcast. I was like, okay, there's gonna be like 3 or 4 producers. There's like 40 people behind the scenes doing shit. And I'm like, oh, this is way more than I expected. But it was a blast. Like everything was so fun. And I think it
Mhm,
helped that everyone we worked with is super cool. And the rest of the talent. I mean, Amy was there. We were Charmer, Casanova,
mhm.
Swim. Like it's all just pretty good And if this cannot come on our podcast, so sorry.
So just me,
Well,
did you like turn into a robot for a few
Saucy turned
seconds
into a
there?
robot, and
Probably
all
did.
I heard was "cannot come on our podcast." So we don't know
Oh,
who it
all right.
is.
Well, I'll see you guys later. I'm not gonna be on this
Charmer
podcast. I'm
can
not
never
allowed.
be on our
I'll see.
podcast. He is banned
Okay.
from the show forever, no matter how many times he tweets at us.
Well, rip
Doesn't matter.
Charmer, and apparently rip Amy too. She's gone now.
Amy left. Amy's gone. That was fun. It was a good time. The seasonals were a blast, and as Amy said, the games were really good. You guys got to cast some incredible games. There were some insane moments. It was insane. Yeah, it was super good.
It was definitely super fun and super awesome. And Amy, I know this was your second. Was this your second or third time?
It was my second.
There
have only been 4, right?
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
Yes.
Okay.
You were on with Silver
Yeah, this was the fourth one.
For I think
Yeah.
Cosmic Creation.
Cosmic Creation. It was the one that Majin Bay won. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Nice. So I guess it's just old hat now. Just seasonal. Who cares?
Ugh.
Who cares?
Oh, it's just
Seasonal.
another seasonal. My name's Blevins. Oh, look at me.
Gotta do.
It's actually way more. Like, I've been doing so much Magic commentary. A year ago, I had done like a few hours total of Magic commentary, and by now I've done well over 200 hours of
Wow.
like on-air commentary, which is so weird.
It's funny how those things work, where it's like, I'm not a commentator, and then you get a gig here, a gig there, and all of a sudden people are
We're professionals now.
Yeah, seriously.
we're
though.
leaders in the industry or
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah,
Or you
super
can
fun.
pretend. You can definitely pretend.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, definitely super fun. I'm 99% sure that the VOD of the seasonal is up. So if you didn't get a
Yeah,
chance
it
to
is.
watch it live, definitely you can go. I think it's on the Giant Slayer LOR, at least the Twitch. I don't know what YouTube channel it's on, but definitely
I think
check
it's
that
the
out.
Legends of Runeterra channel on YouTube. I think.
It very well may be. But you can definitely check that out. It was really, I mean, obviously it was super cool. Casting with you, Amy, for the first time. I thought we got some really good feedback as a duo, which was cool.
I think we
and,
have good camaraderie. I'd love to
Yeah.
get to cast with you in person sometime so we don't have, the second of lag making things hard.
Oh, that was the biggest thing for me. It made me really, really excited for in-person stuff. Like I really want I miss going to in-person Magic and Hearthstone and Counter-Strike. Like just seeing shit in person is so fun. And like as much energy as we try and convey through a webcam and a microphone, it's really, really tough. When you're there in person, like you feed off of each other, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that.
People can actually see how tall I really am, which apparently people think I'm much shorter than I actually am in real life.
Everyone always thinks I'm crazy tall. I remember when I was going to BlizzCon, so many people were like, "God, like they see me, they're like,
me and Rod
"Oh,
are
shit,
like,
you're way shorter than I thought." I'm like 5'7", but people are like, "Oh, I thought you were like 6'2" or something." I'm like, "I'm short as fuck."
The first time I met one of my buddies at BlizzCon, he was like, "What? Wait, Blevins?" I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" He's like, "You are way fucking taller than I thought you were." I'm like, I don't try to hide how tall I am.
I think you guys need to like change your camera alignments. So Blevins, like you got to make it so your head's in the top half of the frame, and Saucy, you
okay,
got to
just
put your
like
head near the
completely,
bottom.
like,
So it's like and like change your
I'm much
angles.
taller than you think.
Perfect. Yeah. And now it's just like now you have
Yeah.
like a gnome man and a giant,
Yeah.
and they're having a podcast together.
I love that. That's our
Chat.
new podcast.
Chat, let me know how tall you think I am based on the podcast and nothing else. Let me know how tall you think I am. But
5'1".
well, Saucy just nailed it. So so anyway, surprisingly enough, we have so much more to talk about because we got not only the seasonal, which is always fun, we got not only a new set that we haven't talked about any of the cards for. We also got like 500 million changes.
Yeah, balance patch like wild. I was not expecting it to be. I was gonna be like, oh, they're gonna hit, I don't know, Azir Aurelia. Maybe they're gonna hit the Trundle Lissandra, especially the Watcher.
Mhm.
No, they hit everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
Yeah. It's
there's I
like,
think 47 card changes. I was counting
wow.
them. Yeah, I was counting them last night, and I think there's 47 of them. So there's a lot. I made my
Yeah.
patch. I did a YouTube video going over all of the patch note changes, and
Mhm.
it took me like 7 hours to go through it all. And the video is almost 40 minutes long. There's that much.
Wow.
It's incredible.
That is kind of insane. So we will we're going to spend 10 minutes on every single change. So strap in. We're going to be here for another 12 or so. No, I'm kidding. We're going to kind of breeze through some of these, of course, as always. Head over to playruneterra.com/news to find the newest patch notes. You can see all that and get all that information. But we'll sort of breeze through these and maybe stop on some of the ones that we want to talk more
Yeah.
about. So Miss Fortune is the first one. It starts with champions. Miss Fortune's the first one. They gave her back Overwhelm.
Yay. On her level up, not unleveled up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
only on the level up. Although I think she only ever had it on
Yeah.
the level up. Yeah. So they basically reverted an old change.
Which
Which
there's
is
a
cool.
lot of those, by the way. We'll be seeing.
There
a lot.
are, and there are some that some of the old players of Legends of Runeterra may be like, are
Scared of.
you sure you want to do that?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk about those. So cool thing for Miss Fortune. Jarvan gonna get slightly easier to level up. Instead of seeing 4+ strikes, it's gonna now be 3.
Yep.
Another thumbs up category.
Yeah, Jarvan still behaves the same way with things like quick attack, but hey,
Yeah.
I mean, at least it works.
Yep.
And Jarvan is seen he's seen some like tier 1.5, tier 2 play. You know, the Shen Jarvan deck was starting to pop up as a response to things. So quality, not a quality of life. It's definitely a buff, but certainly yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think we'll probably see maybe the same amount or maybe a little bit more J4 depending. But we also got another reverted change, and this is, I don't even remember when they did this. This might have been in beta. Saucy.
It was.
I
think
do
it
not
was in-
remember tough Tryndamere
Yeah.
anytime in the last like year.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
pretty
they
sure
did
this
it
was
before Open.
Yeah, this was before the actual release. Tryndamere leveled up. Now will have Overwhelm, Fearsome, and Tough. This was a relic of the beta version of Tryndamere, who saw a ton of play back then. The old Freljord Shadow Isles. I think it was Tides of Time was like one of the top players and streamers back then, playing the ramp deck when Weirding Stones I think cost 2 mana.
2 mana Weirding Stones.
Catalyst I think cost 4.
Anivia. Anivia was like a 4 or something ridiculous.
Oh yeah, Anivia was like very different.
Yeah, she was super different.
Yeah, but yeah, so I don't even remember the last time we saw a Tryndamere get played. I guess it was probably Feel the Rush, but
Yeah.
Tough in today's economy. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it is a strict buff. Whether it
Yes.
matters, who knows?
True, very true.
I feel like with Trundle kind of around,
Yeah.
Tryndamere is just sad. It's just wanting to.
There can only be so many angry Freljord boys.
Yeah, and Trundle just like gets bigger than Tryndamere, which is kind of crazy.
You know what? Eventually, we're gonna get Silas too, and he's just gonna do the same thing but better. And he's probably going to steal things too, abilities and whatnot.
Yeah, well, Tryndamere, I don't know. Tryndamere is one of those like he's like a good like he feels like oh, this is of course as always is going to be dating myself here, but he feels like the old 7th edition Visidrix promo that they like it was in the starter decks from
Yes.
like 20 years ago. It's like Tryndamere, it's like everyone has one in their collection and it's like, is this thing even a rare?
This is boomer card game talk. I'm sorry, everybody. You're here to listen to people talk about Runeterra, not
Oh
Magic.
no. They know by now.
This is like a was it 8 mana 6/6 just generic something like that. It was blue, right?
Oh, Visidrix, I think was
Yeah.
7 mana. 7
7
mana,
mana,
6/6.
6/6.
Maybe
It was
Head
Double
Tramp?
checking. Yeah, 7 mana, 6/6. That was it.
Yeah,
Oh,
just vanilla.
just
It's just
vanilla.
a vanilla 7 mana,
But it's blue.
6/6.
So that made
Yeah.
it worth it.
That you ever know is blue is known for big creatures. So
Mm-hmm. I mean, Polar Kraken okay, now I'm talking about actual boomer cards. No one remembers Polar Kraken. That card came out before most of the viewers were even born. That actually was probably true.
true though. But so Tryndamere may not be a big issue, but this is a card that some people are very worried about.
Oh, this is the one I'm like Monka. I'm a huge Monka.
Karma is getting her nerf reverted. She's going back to 5 mana. Anyone who remembers playing around with 5 mana Karma knows she was pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. And like Ezreal got a rework that helped
Mhm.
address some of the Karma Ezreal, but
Mm-hmm.
Karma costing 5, no stat changes. This is just a straight reversion. It's essentially a buff she wasn't really seeing play. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of new spells that make Karma better.
Yeah, 5 mana Karma is scary. These kids these days with their Azirarelias and their TF Fizzes, they don't know how we used to have it. Where I'm pretty sure that the people who played Karma Ezreal back the old versions are still playing their game. It's still going on.
Yeah,
As long as your game doesn't end, the client never. I'm sure that somewhere in the world right now, Katasis is so happy seeing this Karma buff. But in all seriousness, though, I want to spend a little bit of time on this one because we look back, and we saw the meta really warped around. Maybe not dominated in the same sense that we saw Azure Aurelia on ladder,
Yeah.
or even TF Fizz in ladder and tournaments, but we saw the meta warped around Karma Ezreal, where it was always a looming presence. It was something that like you needed to have. It was like always in the matchup tables. Everyone always was thinking about it. You needed to factor that into your game plan, and it was largely because of old Ezreal, but it was also largely because of Karma and just setting up these game states that really were played in a way that we haven't really seen Runeterra played since then, where it's like there's a lot of passing back, doing nothing, and then playing a Karma out after it's leveled, and then having back up and like and winning, and getting and like having it be a very Karma focused game where it's like, okay, I need to play the Karma, protect the Karma, and then there's like battles over the Karma, and whoever wins that battle effectively wins, even though the game draws out for another 10 turns. But
yeah.
yeah.
Karma's an interesting one because she's one of those cards, and this happens in Ionia specifically a lot. When she's bad, she's unplayable. When she's good, she's oppressive. Like her ability, doubling spells, is really, really powerful. And it is a game-breaking ability when it works really well. So it's really hard to balance her. We've had some really oppressive Karma decks other than Ezreal. I mean, remember Spooky Karma? That was another deck that just took over the game for a long time. We've seen some Lux Karma be pretty good. So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm a blue player in Magic. I like me some Ionia. So I'm excited. I'm ready to see it.
You mentioned that, and I just remembered that Lux is in Runeterra.
She is, yeah.
That's a rumor, I think.
I think they're adding her.
I played so many like weird Lux Poro decks and stuff, and I forgot that she even existed because, like, oh yeah, I'll play Garen, I'll play Fiora on occasion, even post stuff. What? Wait, Lux is in game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does Demacia have fewer champions?
Yeah. Why they just have strictly less champions for some reason?
Yeah. I'm curious because so many things in Runeterra are balanced so delicately around mana costs and whatnot, and Karma just like throws that completely out of the fucking window, right? Like something like Static Shock is yeah, a 4 mana essentially deal 2 damage, right? But when you double that, you just get so much value.
Yeah.
And I think with all the new champions as well, I I'm hesitant to say I like this change just because I have seen what old Karma has done to Runeterra. And I don't necessarily like those play patterns. I don't like casting Karma Ezreal mirrors that take
Hmm.
5 hours. I'm not looking
Yeah.
forward to that. But in terms
She
of the
is slow.
game, she can be slow. I do think that in general, the Karma decks are like skill rewarding, which is cool. And if we have a more like dedicated control deck in Runeterra, I think I'm fine with that.
Hmm.
Um, Moving on, though, we're seeing the first of a handful of Azir Aurelia nerfs. The first
Yeah.
of which here is Aurelia's level up condition going from 12 allies to 14 allies.
Yep.
So
Uh,
this
yeah,
seems pretty insubstantial to me. Same with the Azir nerf. It feels like, yeah, maybe this is one turn later, but oftentimes it's not because like you'll be attacking with four things at one time, and she's just like,
yeah.
"Well, here we go." My guess is it does on average delay her level up by about half a turn to a turn.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah, the biggest thing for me, and I think that this is somewhat consistent with the other changes, but we can reference back to this point when we see the other ones too. I think that like the changes were not meant to like, okay, you know what, Azurelia, get out of here. You're not going to be playable anymore. They were specifically not doing that, and they specifically went for we're going to make the aggressive matchup for Azurelia much worse and actually have that be a counter to the meta or to that deck rather. Whether that decision is a good one or a bad one, that I think is what they went for in like, you know what? If you're playing Azure Burn, you're not just going to, still have to flip a coin. We want to give you an actual very, a better matchup against the deck, which I think is a good thing to do for these like top tier oppressive decks where it's like you don't even feel like you can go on ladder and encounter them.
Yeah, there's a handful of just small nerfs that they did to kind of like touch this deck, and I
Mhm.
think it is on average, like if you do the math, it's like 1.5 turns slower, which is, I mean, the deck does kill you probably about 2 turns too quickly on average. So
Yeah.
with this, with the cards they've added and with the buffs they've added, I'm hoping it just makes it to where it's not the only premier fast deck that you can play, and
Yeah.
other decks are kind of in line with it. But we'll see.
We will have to see. Next up, we've got Riven, who I believe they gave her the quality of life update. Oh, I'm getting a call on Discord for some reason. Sorry about that.
That's me.
Ring a
We got
ding ding,
can
friends.
I didn't even know I could be in 2 Discord calls.
Yeah.
I also don't know why I'm getting a call on that one. Anyways, the they gave her the quality of life here so that when you gain the attack token, oh no. Wait, what did
It's so now you don't have to pass into a turn with the attack
right,
token to get it. It's just you summon her, you have the attack token, cool, you reforce it. It's the way it should have worked the whole time.
right.
It puts it more in line with like how Irelia works in Victor.
Right. But wait, does she not get it every turn now though?
I
She only
think
get one
I think she does, and they
when I'm
worded it
summoned if
poorly
you
on the
have an
website.
attack token.
Yeah, I think it still works the same way as before. It just now also when you summon
Also
it, I
gives
think they
that.
just shortened it on the website. I think it's like just
Gotcha. Okay. Because if they didn't do that, then she got
Only
worse.
reforces once. Yeah, that would be awkward. I think they meant to say it's the same, but also in the turn she comes in.
Right.
What if it isn't though? Ooh,
it
I'll
would
have to
be
test that.
worse.
I don't think anybody was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go into the early access event and play Riven."
Right.
No, that did not happen. Although I did, we have yeah, whatever. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Oh, I think if it is the way we think it is, that's just a good quality of life update for Riven because she was it just always felt awkward. It was like Riven was not a 3 drop, which felt really weird because it's like you want to play her on like turn 4 and then come into turn 5, I guess, which felt a little bit weird. But either way, I'm hoping that this is just a buff for Riven, because I think Riven also is like one of those, like, has a lot of potential. People saw her and were like, "Oh, this is pretty good," and then she only panned out in a very narrow type of deck. But anyways, next up we've got Heimer, who's getting some stats.
Yep.
Saucy, what are you thinking about these Heimer Donger changes?
So I at first I thought it was completely didn't matter at all, but so he's getting +1/+1. So now he's a 2/4 at level 1, a 3/5 at level 2.
Mhm.
I played against some Heimerdinger today after the buffs, and it did matter. He was harder to kill. On average, he summoned like 2 more turrets, but he's still very, very, very slow and doesn't do that much. So I don't think he's like suddenly super playable. If you like Heimerdinger, I mean, a buff is a buff. It is better stats. He is harder to kill, but he didn't really see that much better.
What do you
Uh,
think, Amy?
I think his ass got thicker, and that's pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
He's got big ass,
That booty of Heimerdinger,
which
yeah,
matches his card back. His card back, boy's chiseled.
Oh, the pool party one?
Yeah. Have you seen that one, Amy? He's got those abs.
Yeah, I think you might just like Poros.
I like those
Not
yordles.
Poros, sorry, Yordles. I
Yordles.
think you might
Love
just like
'em.
Yordles a
I do
lot.
like yordles. What's wrong with that? They're great.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate Heimerdinger and all of everything that Heimerdinger stands for, so I hope he's never playable. Anyways,
Moving on. Moving on.
next up, we've got Hecarim, who's getting a 1 health buff.
His ass also getting thicker.
Yeah,
Give
and
me-
he got that sick clippity clop. And hey, guess what? Ephemerals. There is a really cool way to do like a Zir Hecarim
Yeah.
win super fast.
Ooh.
This doesn't change that much about Hecarim, but you know,
Yeah.
it's a cool deck.
This and here, I know we were talking about tinfoil hats earlier. I'm putting mine on right now.
Perfect.
This one specifically, like the Heimer one, okay, I can get it. I can buy into that being a legitimate change. This change, this Hecarim 1 health buff, this is the community has been asking for incremental changes, so we're gonna give you that. But it's the like, oh, okay, I'm going to this feels like it feels like a child like taking everything that you say extremely literally to the point where it's just showing that they are just trying to be rebellious. That's what this feels like. Like, why did we get a 1 health buff for Hecarim? This isn't going to change anything at all, but I think that this might be the devs testing something. How much more play rate is Hecarim going to get after the most minuscule, like completely irrelevant change?
None.
I think
Absolutely none.
well, you'd think that logically that would make sense, but I think that there's actually going to be a pretty big spike, and I'm curious. Maybe I'm gonna have to ping our good friend Cosmic to see if we can see any increases in Hecarim
Yeah.
play rate, because that would be hilarious. And we've seen the inverse where there's a nerf which actually isn't that much of an impact, where but players still go, oh, nerf equal bad, me no play
Yeah.
bad card, and then it takes like a couple of weeks for the competitive meta to be like, oh no, actually this card's still insane.
Yep.
I don't
I
know.
would be curious because the second a card gets buffed, even if it doesn't do anything at all, people are like, oh yeah, that card's better now, right? It got buffed. Let's play it.
Yeah, Hecarim's insane now. It can like,
Oh
block
shit, he's running the
it can
meta.
block a moose. It can block a moose now.
Oh my god, it can block a Yeti.
It can block a Yeti. Actually, that
Can
might be.
block a Yeti and live.
Yeah.
Ooh, see,
Card's
now that might
broken.
actually be relevant. Okay, I take it back. That might actually be relevant. But speaking of things that may or may not be relevant, we've got Azir getting changed. Now the level up condition is you've summoned 13 units instead of 10. Amy, I know you mentioned a couple of minutes ago that this might not be that big of an impact.
I don't think it's that big of an impact. I mean, Azir Aurelia doesn't need to level up to win. It does the 18 damage on turn 3 without leveling up either of those fools.
True.
Yeah, I'm gonna just jump ahead. Sparring student, everyone's favorite one mana 16/16 did not get touched,
Ye-
so we still have to deal with that. And yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this levels up on turn 4 instead of turn 3 now.
Mm-hmm. I think that Azure is still can be a player in the meta and certainly still is going to be powerful. Again, to the point I made about Hecarim, people are absolutely, whether it's right or not, people are absolutely going to see, ooh, Azir nerf card bad, me no play bad card. Azure tanks in terms of play
Oh,
rate.
yeah, yeah, and that's going to shift the meta, and people will be playing different things, and that's what
Yeah,
we need to do. That's what makes the
right.
game healthier, because very often you'll just hear people saying, "Oh, blank is the best deck," and this will be a
Yeah,
streamer, somebody else who's major on
yeah.
YouTube, and then everybody starts playing the deck, and then
Yep.
everybody who isn't playing that deck has to start countering that deck, and you have to tech against it, and it just
Hmm.
becomes this inbred meta, even if that's not necessarily the
Yeah.
best deck.
Yep. Just like that week where we saw nothing but unyielding kegs. Thanks,
And that was
Saucy.
awesome. That was awesome. Come on.
I got you. It was fun. The deck was fun. Shut up.
That deck was sweet. But yeah, I think we'll see players like Drizoth who will be like, yeah, so this is still the nuts, and we'll end up still playing it. Just like we saw Filthy Gamer Weeb holding up Twisted Fate Fizz on the back on his back and just completely dominating in ranks for so long.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I won't hark too much on the Azure Aurelia stuff until we actually see the results of it. I think this is maybe slowing it down. Like, I think the popular consensus is like a turn and a half, which in some matchups it could absolutely make a key difference, and in some it's not going to make any at all. Up
Yep.
next, we've got our good boy Susan.
Hello, Mr.
Uh,
Puppy.
losing Fearsome on level 1.
Yep.
Level 2 and 3 still do have Fearsome. Saucy, does this matter even a little bit?
It's somewhat relevant. I don't think it changes anything. So, jumping up ahead again, there's the Thresh Nasus deck really didn't get changed much. There's an
Yeah.
Abomination change, and I think this, and that's it.
Mm,
And it matters sometimes because a lot of times they get such an aggressive opening where you are down to
mhm.
like incremental health. So now you can block it with your spider tokens from Vile Feast and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
I think that being able to chump block is huge because it means they
yeah,
can't just swing in with it at 7 power and
mhm,
atrocity it and be like, well, that's game.
yep.
If you
Yeah.
just took a little bit of damage earlier on.
So I think it helps. It definitely helps. And without changing the deck at all, like you're still playing the exact same you were before if you like Thresh Nasus. Still has Fearsome and Spell Shield on 2 and 3.
Mhm.
I think it makes sense. And it makes his level 2 feel more differenter than level 1.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's fine.
Yeah. The leveled up version was like, I gain spell shield, and that's the only thing you care about.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa, the wither is sometimes relevant because of the fearsome. That's it.
That is very true.
Yeah.
That is very true. Now, yeah, I guess this definitely makes sense from a flavor standpoint as well. At least it makes the level 2 feel real now,
Mhm.
rather than just like, okay, Nasus is bigger and better. Cool.
Big dog.
Big dog, bigger now.
Big
Yeah.
dog.
So again, I'm not 100% sure on the implications. From a competitive standpoint, I think the deck is still going to be roughly the same power
Yep.
level, just a little bit lower maybe, which is nice. Okay, we've got Sivir, who's getting a losing 5 damage that you need to do to level her up. So you're only gonna need to do 30 damage to level up the Sivir. Amy, what do you think about Sivir?
I feel like this is fine. I never keep track of when she's gonna level up anyway because I forget.
That's why we have
True.
the Oracle Eye.
True
Yeah, it's
though.
like, oh yeah, 30 damage. How many turns does 30 damage take? When am I doing this? I don't pay attention because I'll play Sivir LeBlanc. That's about the only deck I play Sivir in. I
Yeah.
played like some Sivir Riven too, and it's just like, oh, what? I'm doing this? Huh, I guess she leveled up. Look at that. I
Yep.
can't block with her. She dies to everything.
Yeah,
True.
you don't block with Sivir. I like this a lot. I was actually playing a lot of Sivir Zed, and it always felt she leveled up like 2 turns too slow.
Yeah.
So I think this helps quite a bit. And Sivir's really cool. Like she's interesting. Once she levels up, she provides some very interesting attack choices. especially with things like double attack. So I like this a lot. I'd love to see more champions from Shurima see play that aren't just Azir.
Yeah, I mean, we might be seeing Rek'Sai soon. But yeah, I think Sivir's a cool one. I feel like I had a point to make about her, but I don't remember what it was. And we've got a lot more stuff to talk about, so let's move on to
Next!
Talia. Saucy, can you explain what this is? I
So
don't.
this
I'm
one's
never
worded
playing Talia.
really like the wording on this was actually giving me a migraine. And when I went over this
Okay,
on my video,
wasn't just me.
no, it's not just you. I went over this. So I didn't even test it today because I forgot to. There are two different ways that this can work. So how I'm going to explain it. Here's what they say. So it changed from attack, deal 2 to my blocker. If it's dead or gone, deal 2 to the enemy nexus instead. If you have a landmark, you do it 2 more times. Now how it reads is attack, deal 2 to my blocker 3 times. If it's dead or gone, deal 2 to the enemy nexus instead. So they remove the landmark clause. And there's 2 ways that could potentially work. I hope it works like this first way. So you attack with her. She puts on the stack the 3 copies of deal 2 damage, and it works like it did before. Where if the thing's dead or not there, it hits the nexus for each of those instances of 2 damage. I'm hoping that's how it works, but the way it's worded, it could also mean it puts the 3 things on the stack. If the thing that it's blocking dies, it only hits the nexus for 2 total, which I'm hoping isn't the case because that's a strict nerf.
Yeah, that's one of those things where like you pretty much always have a landmark out for her anyway. So I assume that's just what it is. It's just the landmark requirement and then fixing the verbiage. But yeah, it is not clear. And I didn't test it either.
So I'm hoping it's the buff way because Talia could use the help. Not that
I would still like Talia's to be buffed so that if she is removed from combat, her ability still goes through.
I wonder if this
or her
I wonder
blocker.
if the verbiage, if it's dead or gone, deal 2 to the enemy. I wonder if this verbiage actually opens it up so that if she does die, the 2 damage still happens.
That's what I'm thinking and hoping because that was one of the most frustrating. Like that was as frustrating as Zed getting, or not Zed. When Vlad would get removed from combat, his ability would fizzle. That was the most frustrating thing. And Talia is the exact same way.
Yeah, but it still says my blocker, so I don't think they changed that part.
But it's also still Riot and Legends of Runeterra game, so I don't take what the card says for meaning very much at all. But
you're just spoiled by modern Magic cards, what with their clear text.
I mean, they've done some good things, I would say. Icy Cauldron. Now that's a card I need back. That's that card from Ice Age that has like 5 paragraphs of text, right? Yeah. That's how I want my card games. I want to read a novel of rules text. But yeah, I'm actually, I think Talia and the Turbo Thralls deck might actually be in a very interesting spot in the meta, considering not necessarily the buffs to the deck, but the nerfs to other stuff that was preying on it.
Yep.
Anyways, we've got Taric, who's getting +1/+1, right? No, plus 0/+1. This is another.
He's getting a bigger ass.
Yeah, another Hecarim level change. I think that this impacts Taric more than it would impact Hecarim, but I think overall.
Yeah. Absolutely does, because you have to attack with Taric multiple times because it's support. Or does Hecarim like you attack once? Cool.
Yeah, Hecarim you usually attack once and you win. So.
Yeah. I will say that I had a good amount of fun with the Taric Demacia Golden Aegis deck where you like rally 3 times in a turn. That's super fun.
Yeah. Or Taric J Medarda. Let's go. Draw like 20 cards. Yeah, he got a bigger butt.
Taric Echo, maybe? Does one of the new Echo spells interact with them? I don't know. I'll let you you two brewers get to it. Aphelios getting the 1 health back, but not reverting the moon weapons. Don't care.
Hey, does not die to Mystic Shot, I think is huge.
That is definitely true, but also Aphelios can only die to Mystic Shot if I'm playing Aphelios, which I don't want to do if the moon weapons cost 3.
Yeah. So... It's amazing how Aphelios' nerfs just totally tanked him. You talked before about how Riot didn't want to make Azir Aurelia completely unplayable. When Aphelios got nerfed, he just fell off the face of the map. Just it's gone.
He went from excellent to terrible.
I wish the moon weapons cost like 2.5 mana. Or
I
like
Some of them
know.
should cost 2, some of them should cost 3.
I think it'd be
there you go.
fine. I think they're afraid of it being too complicated, but they should just take the Wizards
See-
approach with that one and say, "Fuck it, who cares?
Okay,
Learn the cards."
Okay, here's my thing. And I don't mean to go on a huge tangent because we still have a ton of stuff to talk about, but that's a thing that has always been said. It's mostly been said with like I've heard it from Wizards with Magic. We heard it a ton with Hearthstone over the years. Where devs will make this argument of like, oh, it's too complicated for newer players. When have you ever had a new player be like, oh, well, I'm not playing this game because I read one card, and even though I had someone explain it to me or I saw someone play it, I quit the game.
That
That's
was you,
me.
Amy.
All the time. People will be like, try my board game. Especially like now that I'm a
Oh,
major
that's true.
content creator,
That is
they'll be
true.
like, try my board game. And it will be like a released full-fledged game. This isn't like a little
Yeah.
indie game. It's been play tested. And I'll be like,
Mhm.
the hell does this rule manuals mean? I don't know how to start the first turn. I spent 30 minutes trying to figure this out. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in the box and say thank you.
That is fair.
And not say anything disparaging about the game and just be like, I'm too dumb for this. I have
My
ADHD.
brain
I
don't
can't
work.
handle this.
Yeah. I I get that for sure when it comes to like core parts of a game, but like one card, and especially when in a game like Runeterra or even Hearthstone or even MTG Arena, where it's like the game will play the card for you.
That's
I
trial
don't
and
know.
error sort of
I don't
stuff.
like, or like you can watch a streamer or like I don't know. I buy that argument less. I found myself like forgiving that sort of thought process less lately because it's like I feel like you got to give the players a little bit of credit. But yeah, Aphelios, rest in peace, my friend. You're still trash.
Oh, rip.
Make it rain. And okay, that's all the champion changes. We're now moving on to followers, spells,
There
and
are some
landmarks.
there are some of these
Yeah.
that are important, not all of them. But
That's
yeah, Make
true.
It
This one
Rain is
is
huge.
Huge.
Make it
Reverting
rain.
that.
Yeah, I'm scared. I hated Make It Rain it too. I hated playing against it more specifically. I didn't. The card was very good. I'm scared of Make It Rain. I could see Ophelio or not Aphelios, Ezreal TF back maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Ezreal
I mean,
Gangplank?
especially
hey,
with
this
MF.
yeah, it's great that, because MF's Make It Rain is also getting this. Hey,
Yep.
Yeah.
the next one, this one's super important. Black Market Merchant being able
Yes.
to live through even like blocking a Sand Soldier. Awesome. 100% love it. Amazing. Need more Pilfer buffs. RIP Pilfer. Now it's Nav. Yeah.
Yes. Black Market Merchant, another card that people have absolutely hated over the years.
Love that card.
Just yeah, I think it's super
I
cool.
know. I just want to play my opponent's deck.
Same. I don't want to play my own shit. Let me play your cards.
Theirs are
Wha-
better.
Yeah.
I want
My
there to be
opponent's a better deck builder than me. Fuck that.
I really want there to be a legendary or not a legendary, a champion, maybe not a champion, maybe just an epic. At some point that is like the super plunder that literally steals the entire opponent's deck and like replaces it with something.
Oh, Bilgewater Watcher.
Bilge
You just take their
Watcher.
shit.
Wait, the Bilge Watcher.
Bilge Watcher. Oh, I want that. Give me the Bilge Watcher. Give me all your
All
shit.
right.
Give,
You heard it
give,
here
give,
first,
give.
folks. The Bilge Watcher. If it ever happens, you know that we came up with it.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be sweet. Okay. Double up a card that I would bet most people didn't know existed, unless you're an expeditions player, going from 6 down to 5 cost. Gonna make literally 0 impact, I think,
It's
on
huge, though. Slotbot, this is huge.
yeah,
Yeah, this
Slotbot
one's
is nice.
no joke. I got ranched so hard by a Slotbot today. This is no joke. So Slotbot, it got its ability buffed. Now not only on round start does it get its effect, but also on summon and round start. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
got ranched.
this means that like I know the card draw package for TF got nerfed, but who cares? Like Astute Academic, Slotbot, that's the dream.
Yeah. Maybe we can see the casino deck come back. Although I mean TF is kind of took its spot, but even so.
I got ranched hard by Slotbot today, and it was not fun. So yeah, this is a huge one. This is a huge one.
Maybe this will get Nola Gold back into playing a little bit more often.
True.
Anyways, we've got Confront here, which is the Shyvana spell, going from 3 down to 2 costs. Good. I'm now
Yeah.
going to feel less bad about having to cast this,
Yeah, exactly.
but still not super
Just
excited
good.
to do it. Let's see. We saw Mage Seeker Insider going from a 4/3 to a 4/4.
Cool.
Cool
Cool.
card. Saw very little plays, getting a 1 health buff. Congratulations, Mage Seeker fans. Laurent Bladekeeper. This one I think is actually pretty relevant. Going from a 4-mana 2/3 up to a 4-mana 3/3. This is of course the play grant an ally +2/+2. This card already saw fringe play. And a 2/3 stat line is just so much worse than a 3/3. Like it really is a pretty big break point. I think may very well be a staple, like 1 to 2 of in these sort of unit based Demacia decks, like
Yeah.
what traditionally would be the Shen Fiora. Sometimes Shen J4, maybe other things now.
I might be
I
playing it in Scout Teemo. It's
Yeah.
one I'm messing
Ooh,
with.
thick Teemo.
Yeah.
thick. Yeah, I like this. I like the Laurent Bladekeeper buff a lot. Okay, here's a big one.
Yeah.
Saucy, I know this one. I know
Yeah.
this one for you and for Amazonian gonna be a big one.
Yep.
Howling Abyss going down to 6 cost.
It's awesome. I mean, it's a full turn earlier.
Yeah.
It's a landmark, so you can't use spell mana for it. And Howling Abyss is one of the most fun cards in the entire game, and now it
Yeah.
comes out earlier.
Yep.
Great.
I mean, in terms of competitive, I know there were some people on Twitter saying that this is the most busted card ever.
Oh yeah,
It's still not, and it never has been. But yeah,
Fun as
I
hell.
mean, this card is super fun. I think it's close to being a value card, and also like in a Karma style deck that just wants to do nothing and stall. This is a card that can give you a lot of value. Though I don't.
It's a win con for control decks.
Yeah.
It's fun. This next card is weird because they changed the name of the card as well. So they changed Rin Shadowblade. They renamed it to Better Yasuo. So they made it made it a 4/3 quick attack in Ionia.
Wow, Better Yasuo has been called. I mean,
Yep.
Ren Shadow. I love Ren Shadowblade.
Same.
I played it in a Demacia Ionia. I think it was Zed Lucian deck, and it was just like I just love that card.
Dude, I was playing that today. Ionia got some sick buffs. And Rin Shadowblade might actually be a legitimate card now. Like, not even kidding.
Yeah, really, really looking forward to maybe playing it. Dancing Droplet has now lost a tune.
Yep.
Yay. I don't know why I
the
have it in the
fuck did
first
it have
place.
a tune?
It was
Why did it
basically
have a
free.
tune?
It's like it doesn't feel like the other Attune cards because it's not like a Bilgewater fishy. And it was already like above rate otherwise and has this ability. It doesn't need to pay for half of the recall spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this is, it's not a quality of life change for the card. It's a quality of life change for everyone else in the world. But speaking of quality of life changes, Green Glade Lookout getting that 1 health. This is a card that in the old days saw some play, and I'm talking like closed beta days. But now, like we've seen in Ionia, these strike effects when a unit goes from an X1 to an X2 be hugely impactful. I'm thinking River Shaper is the biggest one that jumps out, where that's like a card that sees a ton of play in the Shen Fiora barrier style decks. I would not be surprised if we saw Green Glade Lookout in those type of decks. And I know, the type of decks that you, Saucy, and Amazonian are looking to play these sort of, decks that have these big win cons in them. This could help fuel those.
Yeah, it's I mean, this is a really cool card. I played it in some like big dragon decks with Kadrigrin, and there was that weird like Katarina combo deck that played it. But yeah, the second health, I mean, you get it the effect 2 times. It's huge. And he's got really good voice lines. They're here. Sound the alarm. So it's really good.
Sound the alarm.
Take the high ground. So cool.
You'll love to see it. Okay. Green, Young Witch getting a 1 health
Yeah.
buff.
Sorry, I cut
Ooh,
you off.
Amy.
I'm just
No,
excited.
go
No,
ahead. Go
this
take
is
it
you.
away.
Take it away. You're excited about Young
Doesn't
Witch.
Dire she can block Teemo. There's so
Yeah.
many things here. Does it
True.
lets you block also like I don't know, Zoe. There's a bunch of 1/1 elusives, the stupid
Dancing
dancing
Droplet.
droplet. And
Yeah.
now Young Witch can be like, eat my ass. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna buff my best friend, Lulu,
Yeah.
and you're gonna die.
Yeah. And I think that's what she says now on attack.
I
Eat
was
my
gonna say
ass.
that's
She's like, eat my ass.
Yeah.
the new
I love
voice
that.
line. Riot, please.
Right? No, oh God. Riot Boys listen to this, don't they? I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect because I want that to happen. You attack, Lulu with Young Witch. Eat my ass. Like, whoa, what
Yeah,
just happened?
no, this is our payment. We gave you Bilge Watcher for free. The
We also gave
payment
them
is
LeBlanc.
we need the new Young Witch voice line in the game.
Yeah. I also
Uh,
designed LeBlanc back in closed beta. So I gave them LeBlanc for free.
there you go.
Eat my
Um,
ass. Her
nice.
with the Green Glade lookout. Oh my gosh. Sound the alarm. Eat my ass.
Nice. Anyways,
Episode 69, folks.
that's true. It wouldn't be episode 69 if it wasn't nice. Okay, so we've got oh boy, here's another one that is making beta
Right.
players and early Legends of Runeterra players cringe at least a little bit. Sir William of Ionia going back down to 4 mana. I know we live in a different world of Runeterra. The desert is vast. The meta is fun, smile. It's a different world than what we once had, but boy, am I scared of 4 mana Will of Ionia.
Yeah.
So,
We've all lived through it. We know it's good, and it means that you only need to have like one extra mana above your spell mana, and kind of like deny. It's really really strong for tempo decks.
Mhm.
Also makes Yasuo slightly better, but he's still not going to get played. So whatever.
No,
makes
now that
worse
they
Ren
made better
Shadowblade
Yasuo.
better.
Yeah.
I don't know, Saucy, are you happy to see our good friend Will back?
I mean, I am, but again, I'm a degenerate control player, so
Yeah.
I would love to just you go to Atrocity and I laugh at you with Ionia's William.
True. So true. Yeah, I miss 4 mana Will, especially since I'm probably gonna be playing Lee Sin in this new meta. Anyways, Twin Disciplines going finally getting changed. This is a card that like was in the meta for a while. It saw a decent amount of play back in old like pre-Bilgewater days, and then never saw play again. Twin Discipline going from 3 down to 2 mana.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't. I mean, maybe this sees play now as like a 1 of or 2 of in like Shen Fiora decks. I'm not sold on it.
I really like this. So Twin Disciplines, when the game first came out, was like one of the premier buff spells that we had because there just wasn't other things. We didn't have things like Sharp Sight, et cetera, et cetera. I think at 2 mana, it makes you consider it. I think if you're still in, like, it makes you be able to play buffs in decks that aren't like Demacia. So if you're wanting to play like the elusive plus Freljord decks or elusive plus whatever, it gives you more options. I like this card because it requires a lot of skill. Like it's a skill testing card. You have to decide when to use it and what to use it on and how to use it. So I really like it. And 2 mana burst spell, it's could be solid. It could be solid.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm unfazed by Twin Disciplines. I think it is useful. It's versatile. I'm not super impressed by it. But I am pretty impressed not only by Incisive Tactician's immaculate mustache, but also by the fact that he is now a 5/5. I'm very. I mean, is this a Can this go infinite with LeBlanc now? Or I guess it wouldn't go infinite.
You can use
It's
the
only
mimic
on
as well.
summon. Oh, but I guess the mimic.
Yeah, if you mimic it, it will keep doing because you can now mimic it because it has 5 attack. You wouldn't go infinite because it wouldn't. You'd need mana, right?
Yeah,
And
but
then
you can copy it and
can
it will
fill your
trigger its own
board.
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had a way to, okay, Wait,
Cloud
there's-
Drinker. Okay.
or you could do if you're playing Victor and you play the new
Yes.
the 10 mana spell that makes all your stuff cost 1 less,
Okay.
and it makes them all created spells. I think that would be infinite.
Well,
Uh,
because you still need board space. That's the problem.
yeah.
You can.
There's
you can
a way
still...
you can make this happen. That's all I'm saying.
All right. All I'm saying is, Saucy, you're the streamer to do it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but this is Noxus.
I don't know. I could see this. Honestly, that could be a good enough reason to run this, like as an actual like over the top win condition for these, LeBlanc, maybe Sivir LeBlanc, or maybe LeBlanc something else.
Now
But
the best thing about this, the flavor win. Before it was a reputation card that couldn't trigger reputation, and now it
Yeah.
can.
It's
I
silly.
have the name. I need the reputation.
Yeah,
Anyone know that card? Maybe chat will know.
never heard
Yeah.
of it.
I don't know. Pretty good. City Breaker. Wow, the buff we were all asking for. City Breaker now has 1
Beep.
power.
Coming through. Did you even know it could attack? I didn't. I thought it had that thing where it had to sit on the back
Mobile,
line.
Yeah, mobile.
Yeah, I mean it kind of attacks every turn, right? But
It's got as much attack as Zillion. Oh, strong.
I feel like I'd be more afraid of a City Breaker versus an old man, but I don't know.
Old man
Could
goes
be
to
wrong.
the gym.
I'm definitely afraid of our good friend Jaima Darda, who's now a 5/5 instead of a 4/4.
Love it. More J Medarda buffs. Keep going.
I just so much want Gem Medarda to be a deck that is
Fun.
good.
It's not good, but it's so
No.
fun.
Speaking of not good, we've got Middenstoke Henchman, a card again forgot existed. Now going from a 5/3 up to a 5/4. Amy, you sound excited about this.
I've tried to make it work so hard and it never does, but it's never stopped me.
Well, now you've got at least you can at least now survive Get Excited.
At least now it doesn't die to like a random 2-cost 3/1.
True. I just like it's just, it's just not good.
Nope.
Maybe someday. I don't know what you'd need. I mean, maybe if it cost like 8 and had elusive built on it, maybe then it would be interesting. But up next we have, I think, arguably one of the most impactful changes in the entire patch, and that is Rummage going from 1 up to 2 mana. Rummage was a catalyst for a ton of decks. Discard Aggro, as Draven, Ruben Pile. Yeah, anything that had P and Z almost always ran Rummage, and now I've seen people saying that the card's dead. At the very least, it is significantly worse. Saucy, where are you seeing Rummage?
So Rummage was like the most efficient card draw we had in the game, just period. 1 mana draw 2 is
True.
essentially how it worked. And it seems like they've hit a few very efficient card draw spells with this patch. I mean, Piltover's On is my favorite region. Rummage is one of my favorite cards. It always has been. But I do like the change to where any card that's an auto include in every deck, I do think is probably needs to be thought about if it's too powerful. And every PNZ deck, you just auto include Rummage. Like it's just like you put it in because why would you not?
I think as we got more and more things that created a fleeting card, and this discard became more and more free, this nerf makes sense. Because if you have something like Ballistic Bot, you didn't hurt your hand. You didn't discard a valuable thing. It was just like, whatever, ignition in the trash. Give me goods.
Yeah. Now you're actually going to have to pay a cost for that, which is, I think, at
2
the very
whole
least,
mana.
fair.
Wow.
At least fair, which is,
And especially with like thinking about other buffs and nerfs of this patch, like Karma coming back, if it becomes meta again, Karma Rummage is one of the most degenerate things that you can do. You discard 2 and draw 4.
Oh, that's right.
And it's like that was one of the big reasons that, the Ezreal Karma deck was dumb. 1 mana, draw 4 is pretty stupid. So, it makes sense. And I feel like this is one of those cards. There's a few cards in the game, Karma included, but I think Rummage is one of those cards that we'll probably see 3 more changes in the future. This card's going to be tinkered with more I don't think this will be the final version of Rummage.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, up next, another P&Z card, Tri-Beam Improbulator, going up from 4, going up to 5 from 4.
Yeah,
This one hurts.
big. People hate Tri-Beam Improbulator. This is one of those cards that players hate to lose to because there is that RNG component. I
Yeah.
do at least some of the most fun games. I remember one game specifically in the seasonals with the Snapvine that was summoned off of the Tri-Beam, and it led to some of
We
the
got to cast that
craziest
game
stuff.
somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's insane.
So there was Tri-Beam Improbulator that made a Snapvine to screw over the person, and there was
Yeah.
also Tri-Beam Improbulator to make a Shark Chariot.
yeah.
And both of those were
True.
like, oh my god, you just needed a blocker, and this is
Yeah.
not it, buddy.
And
Yeah,
I
and then
remember
it's
that was
like-
the game he had to Tri-Beam Improbulator his own Snapvine to get another Snapvine to try and get lethal. It's I get this nerf. It's just one of those, like, it is a very powerful tempo card. I knew it was on Riot's radar. If they were gonna nerf it, I'm glad they did something like this and not. I know some people were talking about like them making it start at 0, where it was like start at 0 damage, summon a 0 cost. I would have hated
Yeah.
that. I think that feels
Yeah.
really bad. But I mean,
It also
5 is
kind
a
of
huge
could have been a
nerf.
low-key buff because the 0 costs, a bunch of them are like the 3/2.
There, yeah, get Butcher every time.
True.
Destiny Spectre, yeah. Gib. It's it is interesting. It like the cost is big because in the decks you're playing this, you want to chain multiple spells a turn. So now you can't play. You usually probably aren't playing 2 of these a turn and something else.
Right.
Like you playing an Ezreal into something else is a lot harder to chain spells now.
Yeah, I do like that. It now you have to like really think about playing it and like have it be more like a this is your whole turn type of thing. So
Mhm.
maybe we'll see it in more control decks. But even then it's hard to get up it's hard to get the damage up there, but we shall see. Okay, next up is another extremely impactful meta change here. Watcher not only needs to see, well, I guess doesn't technically need to see, but you need to summon an additional 5+ cost ally to make it cost 0 or 4. You have to summon 5 plus 8 cost plus allies to make it cost 0. And now when it attacks, it doesn't obliterate the whole deck. It obliterates all but 3 non-champions in the deck. So getting the Maokai treatment.
Yep.
I mean, this is just complete. I mean, this makes TLC not good, right? Like
Yeah, it
the
changes it
clock from
completely.
TLC is now at like at least 3 turns lower. Like Watcher is just a good card now, not a actual game ender on the spot, which I think a lot of
Yeah.
people wanted.
This is another change that I really like. There's a lot of ways. Watcher needed changed. It's one of the most feel bad cards in the game. If they weren't going to hit Spectral Matron and they wanted to change this, I'm okay with this change because TLC gets hit really hard with this. The Spectral Matron combo, you do this, it gets hit hard. But all of the other decks that are playing it, like the Turbo Thralls, the Timelines deck that plays it, all of those decks, they're still completely viable. They didn't just like neuter the card completely, as where that just adds an additional clock to your win. I like that, and I dig it because three or more extra turns is huge against the deck. Huge.
Yeah. Rip Watcher, rip TLC. You had your time in the sun, and now it's I guess time for Feel the Rush to come back. I don't know what
Turbo Thralls has always been really close, and we saw it
True.
do really, really well. Well, at least we saw it do well enough to get top 4 in this NA seasonals.
True.
So that deck could get refined more, and honestly, like it's not a joke. The Timelines Trundle decks are viable options, and like this is a good. I mean, the card's good in it, so I think this will just lead to. I think the problem with the Watcher before is it led to so much design restriction with deck building, because why would you build a different control deck when TLC was so powerful? So now there's other control options in the game, especially with Karma coming back.
Yep. Okay, so we still have a ton to talk about, so I'm gonna run through a bunch of these
Yeah,
changes like super quick
all the
so we
stat
can talk about
changes.
the new cards. Rasa got +1/+1. Dusk Rider got +1/+0, not relevant. Escape Abomination I think is relevant, losing 1 health. This used to be
Yeah,
a 4/4.
it
It's on a
was a
4/2.
4/4.
Yeah. So that's I think a good change. Stalking Shadows another big one, going up to 3 cost. Uh the clock hand now is 7/7. 4/7 was such a weird stat line on that one, but
Yeah, it was stupid.
Raz Bloodmane now going up to a 7/7. We have a 7-mana 7/7 Fearsome. That feels like it should be playable. It's probably not. Dunekeeper getting the
It's a big
old
one.
switcheroo, going to a 1/2 instead of a 2/1. Another I think
I think this
pretty
is way more relevant than the other nerfs.
yeah, yeah. No longer 1-mana decimate. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
Uh
this is the same thing. Any card that's an auto include in every deck is probably too
yeah.
powerful.
Yep. Mountain Sojourners becoming a Bull Elnuck as a 4/5 instead of a 2/5. Maybe we see a Taric support deck. Sun Guardian gets +0/+1. Star Shaping loses a health healed, which I think is super relevant.
Yep.
Serpent is now a 1/1 instead of a 2/1. Another super relevant change. And then the Fangs is now a 2/2 instead of a 3/2. Can't block Fearsome is going to be way worse at stabilizing against some of these aggressive decks. Super great. I think overall, I mean, 40 something changes. I think overall, I'm giving my thumbs up to almost all of them. I'm a little bit scared of a couple, but overall, I'm giving a thumbs up to that patch.
Can I give you guys my tinfoil hat now? I have a
Yes.
tinfoil hat theory. So
hear it.
everyone listening, get out your tinfoil hats that I know you keep next to your listening devices. This is Saucy Mailman's tinfoil hat prediction. So
Tinfoil hat.
we have a smattering of incremental stat changes across the board of all different mana costs. There's, like I said, 40 some changes. And this is my theory. Now, with Echo being in the game and with Elnux getting a buff and all of this, concurrent timelines is going to see more play because that card is good. And this is a strict buff to concurrent timelines across the board because you're usually summoning this random shit like Sojourners and the Sun Man and all this stuff you don't normally play.
Yeah.
But now that all those units are better, concurrent timelines is better. So now timelines got a buff because of that.
All these random assorted cost units getting buffs is a buff to timelines. You
Yes.
love to hear.
Because everyone's going to be playing timelines, or at least you should. It's one of the most fun cards in the game.
Yeah.
Make it prismatic. It's the best value.
I mean, I can't argue with that. It gives you effectively every unit in the game prismatic, kind of.
Same with, I think, Victor's spell makes everything prismatic.
Ooh.
the 10-mana thing.
Ooh. Makes your whole deck prismatic. What if my
Ooh,
deck is already
shiny.
prismatic? Should I
Then you
Double
are
shiny.
like a
yeah,
double
it's super
prismatic?
shiny. It's like blinding. You know how sometimes there's a visual bug where like
Yes.
Tough looks
The
like
lights
it's like
is
super
too
reflective?
much.
Yeah, it does that.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. But we also have new cards too. Can you believe it? We just spent all that time talking about these changes to old cards. We got new ones. We won't go through everything, but I guess maybe we each pick out 2 cards.
We should talk about the champs. I feel like those are
Yeah.
the ones
champs,
that matters,
perfect.
and everything just kind of
Yes.
supports them.
I like it. Let's talk about Rek'Sai first. We've got Rek'Sai, the 3-mana 3/6 lurk. When I lurk or attack, grant lurker allies everywhere +1/+0 round end. Place me into your deck. Amazonian, what do you think about Rek'Sai?
She's a big girl, and I like her a lot. But the fact that she disappears on round end, even on, I originally thought it was just on like when you were attacking with her.
Right.
No, she's just like, y'all see you nerds later, dip. And it's not like
Yeah.
she goes back into the top 3 cards of your deck. She's just
Right.
gone. And I don't believe she has a signature card either that tutors her to the top of the deck or into hand. So she's just like, see you nerds later. Hope you draw me again.
Yeah. You can put her on top of the deck if you have her in your hand already.
Yes,
So,
with like a bone charge or something.
yeah.
So Rek'Sai is one that I thought was poopy when they 1st showed
Mhm.
her. After playing with her, she's actually fucking nuts.
Yeah, the
she
lurk package
levels
is cool.
she levels up really, really fast. And when you have the card where you put something onto the top of your card and then do anything, that with her, if you do that twice, your board is gigantic because she lurks twice. So when she's on top,
Ooh,
you get +2 attack on all your shit that's attacking.
right.
She's actually kind of bananas. She's better in your hand and on your deck than in play most of the time, and she's really fast to level
Interesting.
up. She's actually crazy.
Oh, right. So the when I lurk, that refers to when they're on top of the
Yep.
deck.
Yep. So if you put her on top,
Okay.
if she's the top card, she
He
gets the
double
regular
lurks.
lurk, and then she also does it again.
Yeah, she's a double lurker.
She's a little scary. She's actually, and she closes out games. When she's leveled up, she gets overwhelming. She a big girl. She
Oh,
got big
right.
stats.
Yeah, when I level up, create 3 random lurkers in hand.
But I feel like you have to play her with Bilgewater because just the
Yep.
support in Shurima or Bilgewater alone doesn't feel like enough for a full Lurk tribal. So
Yeah.
definitely a narrow deck build, but a strong, aggressive card in that build.
Yeah, I mean, I
Better
still
than
want to. I still want to build Rek'Sai control where you're blocking with Rek'Sai because she goes back in your deck at end of
Yeah.
turn. You can just block and then she like
It's just bad Braum.
regenerates. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Hey,
But
I'm all
it's
about bad
cheaper
Braum.
Braum. It's cheaper Braum and has
Yeah.
attack. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably trash, but I still want to do it. Okay, who else do we have? We of course have Pike. Our good boy Pike. There he is. 4 mana, 2/3, quick attack and lurk. When I lurk, transform me into death from below. And he levels up when allied pikes have dealt 15 plus damage, which is interesting because of the way he works. It just needs to be Pike deals damage, but it's not I have done damage because that would refer to the individual card. It's Pike anywhere cumulatively has to have done damage, which is nice because it would be pretty bad
Also, his
otherwise.
level up is nutty and really, really frustrating.
Yeah.
There's
When
the
it does
level up.
happen, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, when when he levels up, he basically the spell the death from below, it's a 4 mana spell. Lurk, it has lurk, and it's a fast speed spell. Summon Pike striking an enemy, and that's not striking each other, so it's not single combat. It is concerted strike.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. So Pike
yeah.
is one that oh yeah, so Pike's interesting because I thought Pike was a lot more nutty than he is. After playing with him a bunch, when he is death from below, when you get the lurk, very, very strong. But that doesn't always happen because you do need, like, he has to be on top of your deck. You have to
Yeah.
attack and him turn
Yep.
into the spell. Otherwise, just playing him is kind of weak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because he needs to the leveled up version we can see on the screen. When I kill an enemy, I strike the weakest enemy, and that can stack.
Yeah.
So like if there's a bunch of small units on the board, you can goblin sharpshooter them
Yeah.
all away.
It just makes Kindred look bad, though.
True.
Like, he is.
Kind of wish Kindred worked this way.
Yeah, I know. Same.
Sad. Can we get some F's in the chat for Kindred? Unfortunately, but I think Pike is definitely cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Pike, as part of the Lark package, is where he shines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does feel. I know people were talking about this before, but it feels like a TK Soraka type of scenario where it's like the deck kind of builds itself because you need a certain like density of lurk cards for it to work, and there's not a ton of room for non-lurk cards. Plus, it's worth noting that Pike's champion spell is Bone Skewer, which is really cool. A card that
Yes.
obviously we saw get released beforehand, and has seen some play. Obviously works extremely well with Pike. But
Yeah.
I'm really interested in what Pike is doing, even if that deck is like a very narrow, like sort of builds itself type of deck. That's fine. I like that, TK Soraka and where it is and what it means for Runeterra. I'm fine with that.
Yep. It's good.
Okay, last champ we have here is the one that was revealed today. That is Echo. Saucy, do you want to talk to us about Echo?
Echo is fun as shit, quite good, and really, really easy to level up, even just in Piltover and Zon.
Okay.
I was able to level him up super easy without going into any other regions. I was just
Oh.
playing like mono P and Z. We got the new Piltover and Zon Predict one that like puts 3 copies in your deck. But every time he strikes, you get one of his time tricks in hand. And that's if he is on defense or attacking. He is not hard to level up, and when he levels up, it's very, very good. He's strong. He's strong. His Chrono Break or whatever it's called when he levels up, it just wins the game when you play it. It's nuts. It's so good.
Amy, I saw you nodding your head when
I
talking
just thought
about
it was
Echo.
really fun. Yeah, I was playing Echo with Zillion. Found it to be a really fun deck and works very nicely. And the supporting package is also pretty cool. It doesn't feel overpowered right now to
No.
me. Feels flexible. Feels like there's different ways to play with the card. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, when I first saw Echo, and granted I have not played with Echo yet, so this is still pending actually building a deck with him and playing him, but I don't know. I'm kind of not on the hype train of Echo as much as other people. I think um you know, it's a bad argument, but the whole like dies to Mystic Shot thing, I think holds some value. Like being an X2 definitely sucks on the
Yeah.
non-leveled side. But also, you know, he has quick attack, which is great, and when he strikes, he creates, you know, preordain, which I like a
Also,
lot.
he is really easy to level. So very often
Yeah,
you play him, he's already leveled, and then
yeah,
boom, like no longer dies to Mystic Shot.
Yeah, and he can
that
level in your hand.
that is true. That's very good. And then of course the spells are super good. You know, the chrono breaks, just absolutely busted. The parallel convergence also busted. Granted,
And the
these are
time
cards that,
trick is nuts.
yeah, I
It's
mean
so
it's
good.
it's opt, right? It's
Yeah.
scry, it's kind of like scry and then draw one.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, obviously it's 2 mana instead of 1, but right? Is it 2 mana?
Yeah.
I think it's
2
2
mana
I
mana.
still
burst
need to
speed.
try Echo Shrooms.
It's really fun. I was
You've
playing
already done it.
I was
You know
playing
what? I
Echo
should have
Demacia.
expected Saucy would be the
Of
first
course.
person to be like, spells you say.
Yeah.
Puffcat Peddler likes spells.
That's what I was playing basically all day. Field promotion, Teemo Echo. Really, really stupidly good. And this guy, when you give him
Ooh,
scout,
field
you
promotion
create 2 a
echo.
turn.
Yeah.
It's
That's pretty
nuts.
sick.
And they cost 0 when he's leveled up. So you get
Ooh.
2 free ops a turn. It's really dumb.
What about Echo Victor?
Yeah, I'm in. Echo's great.
All right.
He's
Yeah,
very
I think
flexible.
Echo seems super flexible, but all like it feels like he is flexible, but also is doing a powerful, not necessarily narrow, but like a powerful specific thing, which is
Yeah.
nice. It's not like Echo is just like a bundle of stats.
Mhm.
Feels like he's got a bunch of stuff he does. Obviously, the spells, like the way that the predict synergy is cool. It's almost like cards that have draw card synergy, where it's like you want to be doing this and are going to be doing this anyway, and also you get a benefit from doing it, which is nice. But it's not like a, oh well, I have to, I absolutely have to build a predict deck or else Echo doesn't work. It's like, nope, he'll just kind of level up anyway, and if I put even a little bit of additional predict in, he'll level up super fast.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I'm not. I don't know. I feel like there's something is a little off about him for me in terms of like specifically competitive, but I could just be completely wrong. He seems super cool if nothing else, and the spells that are like around him, the parallel conversions, the chrono break, those cards are extremely powerful. But
Sort of
that,
while we're on this page, I do want to
yeah,
mention that Drop Border, the card in the top middle there,
yeah,
Drop Border features a non-binary character
Yes,
using they them
indeed.
pronoun in the they them pronouns in all of the flavor text referencing them and in their own. And I just thought that was nice. Thank you, Bryant, for some representation. I appreciate it.
Same.
A delicious snack.
a
Yes.
delicious a delicious snack. Also, awesome hoverboard. I mean,
Yeah.
That is a very cool.
I
figure.
mean, Echo has this whole storyline of like him stealing a hoverboard and Goof in a boot.
Goof
Goof
in
in a
a
boot.
boot.
He's like
So-
a prodigy, but he's also like a little Zahn rascal. So
yeah,
He's
I wanna
is he
talk
a,
about-
curmudgeon.
I want to talk about like 2 cards each that surprised us or whatever. Because I have a couple cards I want to talk
curmudgeon,
about.
ragamuffin. That's what I meant. That was the word I
Yes.
meant. Sorry.
it's like an old
Um,
grumpy man.
No.
Couple
a ragamuffin,
cards.
not a curmudgeon. Okay, go ahead, Saucy. Sorry,
Couple
I needed
cards.
to clarify.
You're fine. Jawfish, the 8-mana lurk fish.
No. You don't get to talk about Jawfish
I
because you did
do.
not say Jaw ready for
No,
this on the
I would never do it
broadcast.
for you.
Even though it was set up. I'm so mad.
This card's fucking insane.
I'm mad.
This card is a one-sided ruination.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty insane.
Every
it's
time.
also insane that
lost
you
it a
didn't
lot
say
today.
Jaw ready for this on the
I'm out.
seasonal. I'm so
Bye,
mad.
guys. I'm leaving. I'm going home because I don't like jokes from you. You're not good at jokes. Your jokes are bad.
I know.
Jawfish is nuts. I don't know if you've experienced this card much yet, Amy. But every time usually you get it from the spell that creates lurkers in hand or Rek'Sai. When you play it, you win the game. It's so crazy. It's
Yeah,
so
and, like,
strong.
It's flavor wise. I think the jawfish is supposed to be the fish that ate pike. So cool, awesome, yummy.
And by the time you play it on 8 mana, it's at least a 9 attack creature.
Yeah. It definitely seems sweet. It seems very strong. The only thing I have to say is
Already for this.
had
Dude,
to do
it's
it
too hot to
because
dance.
it's a
I
good thing.
know.
All I'm saying is it's a good thing I wasn't on the broadcast at that point because I would have
True.
gotten the
the
Playroom
censors
Terra
ready.
Twitch channel DMCA
Banned.
during
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the only thing I really don't like about this card is that it's not also a sea monster.
Yeah.
I think this is
I
the only
agree.
one that should be both.
It's huge.
Yeah, and I saw that that it definitely makes sense because it obviously is a sea monster from a flavor standpoint. And I think it was a post on Reddit or maybe Twitter that asked the question, and people brought up the at least semi-legitimate point of like, oh, well, this would nerf Jaw Hunters, ironically enough. Because like it is a sea monster, but it's not a card that you want to ever get in in the sea monsters deck for the most part.
True.
But also just make an exception and don't let that card be generated. They
Easy.
literally can do whatever they want on the development side. Like
Just jam it. Make it a dragon too.
just like you can't get double strike from Victor's thing. Like it's a keyword, but it doesn't say like you get a non-double strike keyword.
Yeah.
It just isn't part of the list. So they easily could have done it. But maybe easily might not be the right word. They could have done it, but
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know.
Also, Elnux might be scary. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh. Amy, in the few hours that you've been playing today on the pre I guess technically like the pre-release, were there any cards that jumped out to you in terms of ones you had fun with or you thought were particularly good?
I got killed by Elnux. It was awesome. Actually, right next to that Elnux right there, Boom Baboon rules.
Yeah, Boom Baboon is sick. Card
It's
is
a
sick.
monkey. It's a cool monkey.
It makes good sounds too. It screams.
Ooh,
Oh, I was
that-
mostly making my own monkey noises whenever I played Boom Baboon.
That's
But
what
like,
I
just
like.
look at the art. Look at this dude. Dude rules.
I will say, I guess it's the eye patch that makes it look kind of not like a baboon, but no, I guess that would be a baboon, wouldn't it be? Also, a baboon can be whatever it wants to be in the world of Runeterra, right? It's fictional.
I think the 3-mana. I think it's a 3-mana, but the new predict follower in Piltover on. I think when you play it, if there's a baboon, I think they yell at each other.
Practical perfectionist.
Yeah, something like that. I think the baboon yells and it yells back at it like ah. It's really good.
Yeah, that is one of the most fun things in playing the new set is getting to hear all the new voice interactions and voice lines from the cards because there's so many in there.
Echoes are good.
They're so awesome. I'm trying to see. Oh, the one card that I want to call out again. I haven't played yet, but the Abominable Guardian, the 8 mana Yeti. I think it's
Oh
up
yeah,
near
we were
the
talking
top.
about that right before we started the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
round start. Yeah, oh, you passed it. It's down a little bit to the left. It is if round start, if you have 2+ Yeti, summon me from hand and create a copy of me in the deck, and then play. You draw a Yeti. I mean, like
It's strong.
free 5/5 seem good. Now there's not a ton of Yetis that you can get early, but there is at least one mana Yeti that you can play in your deck, and then there are other ones that can be generated. I don't
Also,
know.
I
This one
think this
seems
is the
interesting.
fastest way to level Lysandra, by the way.
Wait, this
It's an 8-cost unit
Oh my
that gets
god!
summoned.
Also triggers
Other than
reputation when
Turbo
hit.
Thralls, yeah, might be.
Yeah, because like by turn 2, you can summon 3 of these, so it's pretty good.
That's true. A producer is in our ear saying that the Watcher was actually buffed because of Yeti. Yeti Watcher is the new world. You heard it here first. Probably
Guaranteed.
also heard it here last. But yeah, I think boy, we have talked about a lot of stuff so far. So I think that's probably a decent spot to cut it. Amazonian, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, episode
me.
69.
And when are we going to do Revenge of the Charmer and Mo? Because they were being quite huffy
They
on
were very
Twitter.
happy.
We'll have to see. Well, maybe. Ooh, okay, hold on. Here. Okay, so here it is. Here's the thing. We'll see which one of them is actually listening to the show. I'm putting a challenge on Twitter. Who can impress us the most on Twitter will be invited on to the maybe not the next episode, but some episode soon. Whoever impresses us the
Yeah.
most on Twitter, and the other one will be banned from ever returning.
Oh, excommunicated.
Ooh.
Hey,
We'll see.
Blevins, were you in charge for writing any of the dialogue from the new set? Because Zillion and Echo together say some really shitty jokes. So the jokes between those two are very Blevins-esque. So I'm excited for you to see what they think.
I am under NDA, so I can't say.
They're very time dad and time son.
Yeah, it's so good. Hey, Echo, what's my favorite spice? It's thyme. Pretty good.
I'm almost out of time. So good. But
Amy, thanks for hanging
yes.
out.
Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Amazonian because that's where I am like every single day. All of them. All of them. You can find me there.
Every single day.
Usually
is-
not Tuesdays, but like I don't actually take Tuesdays off. It's a lie.
It's just because Tuesdays suck. And
Well, no, it's because
Lazy.
games come out on Tuesday. So whenever there's a game I want to play on launch, it's like, well, shit, I guess I'm streaming on launch day. Tuesday
Mm,
stream.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Saucy, where can people find you on the internet when you're not here on the show?
Yeah, you can find me. My website is just saucy.live. I stream Monday through Friday in the mornings Pacific time. And all I'm going to be doing is Scout Timo from now until the foreseeable future. That's it. Nothing else.
Can't wait. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at @the_Blevins. On Twitter, you can find the show. Best place to find all the stuff from the show. Discord.me/RuneTerribleRadio. Radio. It's got all of our links to everything, including the Twitch channel where we stream live on Tuesdays, twitch.tv/RuneTerrible. YouTube.com/C/RuneTerribleRadio. Radio. Subscribe to the Discord. Our awesome producer is taking different clips and whatnot from the show and putting out additional video content. So make sure subscribe to the YouTube and all of that good stuff. But I think that's it. And I don't remember what button. I hope this is the right button to press. But For our guest, Amazonian for Saucy, I am the Blevins, and we will see you next time when we talk about some more Legends of Runeterra.